name is George Maingi. George Maingi is a Chief Operating Officer for Asante Financial Services Group. Basically, what a COO does is to oversee business operations across the geographies that we are in as Asante. And we are in different geographies in Africa. We are currently in 4 countries. Asante is a digital financial service, basically talking about how we can support MSMEs within the region of or the continent of Africa in their businesses. And to start with, we started with credit, okay? But we have other initiatives that are in different stages. And if you look at the problem in perspective, MSMEs contribute to 60 to 70% of employment within Africa. And we know that if African MSMEs are supported, they'll support a lot of African economies in contributing towards their growth. Number 1, job creation. Number 2, in economic participation. We are focusing on MSMEs that are within some partnerships that we consider as strategic. Yeah, so our journey has been basically to acquire strategic partnerships. We get into them, then we start, the digital financial services with them, starting with the credit. Then we expand now within an ecosystem to do more products or expand to different, kind of products. In Kenya, for example, we have in excess of 6 million MSMEs, right? We've barely financed, 150,000 of that. So it's just a tiny fraction of the ecosystem, or rather of the market that we've touched. So that's why for us, we can see the opportunity is so huge. We have so much room for growth and so much opportunity to support MSMEs. We do not give you cash, okay? We pay for your goods so that you pick the goods, right? So we are sure that the money that we are lending to you is going to your business, not for other purposes. Because there's been a challenge of enterprises or MSMEs separating personal cash from business cash. But when we finance the business and we are sure that the money is going to the business, then they can focus on actually growing the business. And they can actually start relying on Asante for working capital, knowing very well that they have a limit available. We are talking about a loan per minute, okay? And we can foresee in the very near future us talking about a loan per second, right? And this a loan transaction to an MSME. Okay, so you can already see Lipa na M-Pesa merchants, loans that you do, call it a Bloom loan. That's in partnership with the Safaricom. So the way this works is that merchants have a USSD channel that they can access our product. They only need to dial *310#, okay, to be onboarded into Asante, and then they're able to take up these products. Now, the way it works is that we do not ask these merchants, for example, to bring us, collateral, to bring us some title deeds or, logbooks and all this kind of physical evidence that everyone asks for. We only rely on their capability to accept payments through Lipa na M-Pesa tills, okay? That's the main thing. When merchants dial this code, they'll be taken through the process where they put in their store numbers, or rather their store number, and they're able to put in their details, and they opt in. Once they opt in, Asante scores them, okay? And the scoring is near real time, as I said, and they're able to check their limit. For example, if they opt in today as a merchant, I check in my limit using the same channel, *310#. Okay, *310# is the channel to opt in, the channel to request for a loan from, the channel to check my limit from, and the channel also to repay for my loans. The loan products that are available, there are 3 currently. There is a 1-day product, there is a 7-day product, and there is a 21-day product. The reasoning behind us having 3 products within the Bloom loan, product mix is because we've analyzed our merchants over time, okay, and we've realized through their trading cycles what they require. So there's a merchant who requires a loan for 1 day. I'll give you a good example. I know I go to a market 3 a.m. in the morning to buy my grocery, and there are merchants who do that. Okay, they go to the market at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., they buy their stock. Within the day, because they are perishables, they sell off. And by the end of the day, they're ready to pay. So we charge a very small fee for that. It's a 7-day based on the cycle. There are people who require stocking for 7 days. What we do normally is to encourage merchants, okay, to not wait, for example, for the 7 days. Go stock on day 1, and from day 2, you're actually selling. So you can be offsetting your loan in small chunks. By the time it is the 7th day, you've already cleared, or you have a small portion to clear. The same applies to the 21-day loan. You go cash to buy your stock in bulk, from day 1. Then every day you are making sales. So you can be, reducing the loan amount every day. By the time it's day 21, okay, you've already paid a big chunk of the loan, so that you have a little amount remaining to repay. So we allow for a rollover period for customers, for a few days, to just enable you to pay up your loan at a small fee. For example, if it's a 1 day, we allow for an extra 1 day rollover for you to be able to pay, but of course at an extra fee. If it is a 7-day loan, we can allow for a rollover of 3 days. So basically, these in extreme cases where maybe you are not able to sell off your stuff and get all the cash to pay the loan. Majority of merchants are very good people. They pay in good time. They pay in small installments. Only a very small portion that go in those circumstances. Also get challenges in terms of, for example, when COVID happened, okay, it actually caught many businesses unawares, okay, and you could find a scenario where a merchant was a very good person. You could do nothing. I mean, their businesses are shut down, they are closed, they have no source of money to pay the loans, and we had to take a very hard decision as Asante to actually waive a lot of monies on some of those merchants that were able to validate for sure that these people, they have no source of income, they lost their livelihood because COVID happened, and all what they were relying on for their businesses has actually crashed. These cases of a merchant got hospitalized and their business is not performing at that point, and maybe they had an open loan. So we are looking at ways of being in a position to really go around those problems, or even support our merchants. In that perspective, actually, we are coming up with some insurance product where we'll be able to support the merchants in cases of sicknesses. So maybe if someone is hospitalized and they're not in a position to service their loans, then we are able to offer them some relief through insurance companies. As Asante, we are investing more and more in data analytics, in data science, in AI, machine learning, so that we're able to predict in good time, okay, when these events unfold, and we're able to take decisions, preemptively before it happens. As you speak right now, we know what to do in the next few days, few months down the line, based on the data that we have and based on the data that is churning out, right? But if someone is in business, as Asante, it is our responsibility, and we take it very, very passionately, to support businesses, because we can tell they're in business. We can see the transactions, because they are using, partnerships channels, to be able to transact. So as long as we can see data and they are in business, we'll be able to continue supporting them. And there should be no, that risk, or, that fear of, just because of global dynamics, that we are going to impact negatively a merchant that's actually doing business. Yeah. As Asante, I've not invested in brick and mortar, so we don't have footprint all over shops all over the country or all over the continent of Africa. But through partnerships that we engage, we use their channels to reach out to everyone within the partnership. And as I said, if it is merchants, for example, they are spread across the country. The communication to merchants, we do it to all the merchants across the country, okay, through the channels that are existing within their partnership. SMS mediums, okay. Then we have mediums like local radio channels that the merchants have access to. Then in different markets, different channels, we have digital platforms as well to reach out to the merchants that are on digital platforms. So we use these channels that are available and prioritize actually on the channels that the partnership uses to reach out to the customers within the partnership. As Asante, we also go the extra mile, okay, in reaching out to these customers, merchants, agents through our other channels, digital channels, SMS channels, and all that. We have also other programs that are running, like referral programs where we can ask a merchant to refer their fellow merchants, those kind of programs that are running in different stages of deployment, and also some are live, so that we're able to reach out to as many businesses as possible to benefit from our services. We have a very fair mix of the genders, okay, and there is no discrimination. So we can't say that we'll be limiting a merchant just because of their physical ability or disability. So as long as they are a merchant, for example, using Lipa na M-Pesa as a mode of repayment, or they accept payments through Lipa na M-Pesa, we do not discriminate. So in essence, we are inclusive, we are open. But in terms of, say, deliberate products towards some sectors of society, we might not be there yet. But the products, the way they are, naturally, they encompass everyone. Encourage merchants to patronize our products. The reason being that once you start using Bloom Loan, for example, and our products, you realize that we are a very responsible lender, because the way we do our product construct and configurations is to ensure that it makes business sense, okay, to the customers, to patronize our products, and also to tell them that we are creating more and more products that will be geared towards solving the problem that they experience in their businesses, and to make them even better business people, to grow their businesses and to remain resilient despite the environments they find themselves in, economic or otherwise. I don't know how interesting it is, but one fun fact about Asante is that we have at least 8 nationalities as employees of Asante. Yeah, and it is not by accident. Our CEO is very strategic about it, is very deliberate about it, to have as broad a mix as possible of experience, cultures, so that the Asante brand is not just local, but a global brand serving the African MSME. Yeah.